My uncle told a racist joke and the whole family laughed. I was the only one who stayed silent. He demanded I apologize for ruining the mood. I refused. The table went quiet when I didn't laugh. 23 family members had just roared at my uncle's joke about why certain people shouldn't be allowed in certain neighborhoods. And I sat there with my fork frozen halfway to my mouth. Uncle Keith noticed immediately. "What's wrong, Natalie? Can't take a joke." I set my fork down. That wasn't funny. The temperature in the room dropped 10 degrees. My mother shot me a warning look. My cousins suddenly found their plates fascinating. My grandmother clutched her napkin like she was preparing for a storm. Keith leaned back in his chair, still smiling, but with something harder in his eyes. "Oh, here we go. The college kid is going to lecture us about sensitivity." I wasn't lecturing anyone. I just didn't think it was funny. Keith's wife, Donna, jumped in. "Natalie, your uncle works hard all year. He deserves to relax and enjoy Thanksgiving without someone policing his words." I looked around the table at my family, my aunts, uncles, cousins I'd known my whole life. Not one of them would meet my eyes. They'd all laughed. Every single one of them. Keith stood up and walked toward me, his smile completely gone now. He stopped right next to my chair, looming over me. "Here's what's going to happen," he said quietly. "You're going to apologize for making this awkward, then we're going to finish dinner like a normal family. Otherwise, you can leave." I stood up so we were face to face. I'm not apologizing for having basic decency. The argument that followed lasted 45 minutes. Keith called me brainwashed. My mother begged me to just let it go. My grandmother cried about the family being torn apart. My father said nothing, which was worse than anything. I left before dessert. My mother didn't walk me to the door. For 3 weeks, I was the family villain. Group texts I wasn't included in. A cousin's birthday party I wasn't invited to. My mother called to tell me how disappointed everyone was in my behavior. Then I got a message from someone I didn't know. Her name was Janelle. She worked in HR at Keith's company. She'd found me through social media after doing some research into my uncle's background. "I need to ask you something," she wrote. I stared at the message for a long time before replying. "How did you find me?" Her answer came almost immediately. "Your uncle mentioned you by name during a workplace incident last week. He said his niece tried to shame him over a harmless joke. Someone reported it. I'm investigating a pattern of complaints, and I need to know what actually happened at that dinner." My stomach dropped. I hadn't told anyone outside the family. I'd assumed it would stay sealed inside that suffocating dining room forever. I typed slowly, carefully. "He told a racist joke." Everyone laughed. I didn't. He demanded I apologize. I refused. That's it. 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. Then, "Thank you. That lines up with other reports. He's made similar remarks at work for years. Most people stayed quiet because he's senior management. But recently, employees started filing formal complaints. Your situation matters because it shows this isn't just a workplace misunderstanding, it's a consistent pattern of behavior." I sat back in my chair, heart pounding. For weeks, I'd been told I'd overreacted. That I'd embarrassed the family. That I'd ruined Thanksgiving. Now someone was telling me the opposite. Janelle sent one more message. "I know this might be uncomfortable, but would you be willing to provide a written statement about what happened? It could help protect people who work under him." I didn't even have to think about it. "Yes," I wrote. 2 months later, my mother called me for the first time since that night. Her voice sounded smaller than I'd ever heard it. "Keith lost his job," she said quietly. I didn't respond. She kept talking. "They said there were multiple complaints. Years of them. HR investigated. Apparently, it was serious." There was a long pause. Then she added, softer, "I didn't know it was that bad." I looked out my apartment window at the gray winter sky. "You didn't want to know," I said gently. Another silence. This one felt different. Not cold. Not angry. Just heavy. Finally, she said, "Your grandmother wants you to come for dinner next week." I almost laughed at the irony. "Why?" I asked. My mother's voice cracked. "Because she says you were the only one brave enough to tell the truth." The next Sunday, I walked into that same dining room. Same table. Same chairs. Same family. But no one was laughing too loudly anymore. No one told those kinds of jokes. And when I sat down, my grandmother reached across the table, took my hand, and squeezed it. Not a word was spoken about Thanksgiving. None needed to be. Because this time, when the room went quiet, it wasn't from tension. It was from understanding.